Hello, potato. Caffeine is life, so it's time for a tea break of sorts. Recently, I've been trying some caffeinated food items that claim to give you the energy boost of a cup of joe or something like that. And today's item is sort of in that vein. We're going back to Sam's Club for another Members Mark item, limited time offering. It's white chocolate and matcha green tea macadamia nuts. Ooh, macadamia. Enjoy the salty sweetness of roasted macadamia nuts covered in white chocolate and matcha green tea. Now, you may say at the front of this, unlike, say, the Awake chocolate or the Verb bars, this doesn't make any reference to it being caffeinated. And no, on the front, it does not. There's no reference to how much caffeine is on each nut or anything like that. However, on the back, it does say, put down the afternoon coffee and pick up a bag of our white chocolate and matcha green tea covered macadamia nuts. Roasted, each macadamia nut's covered in creamy white chocolate and savory matcha green tea for a decadent pick-me-up when you need it most. I feel like that word roasted seems to have gotten lost. That's very awkward there to me. So these are good up until Halloween. Don't give these out for Halloween because they'll be no good the day after. Also, I'm pretty sure they're just loose nuts inside the bag. And I guess if you want to give out full bags of matcha green tea macadamias, that would be really generous. Because I want to say these were actually like 10 or 15 bucks for this bag. So yeah, it doesn't really on the front stress the caffeine, but on the back it does. It does suggest using this as a replacement for coffee. But I don't see anywhere where it says how much caffeine it actually contains, which is unfortunate. It's something we've been seeing more and more on things recently. Contains milk and macadamia nuts. Well, I should bloody well hope so. So serving here is 9 pieces, 170 calories, which seems to be about what you go for with nut snacks, which actually, that doesn't seem bad. 9 macadamias for 170 calories with chocolate on them? That doesn't seem awful. It does have a mere 1% of your daily sodium, which is nice, and 2 grams of protein, so not a ton there. Yeah, we should say how much caffeine was in a serving. How much of a boost can I expect from eating 9 of these little bad boys in the afternoon in place of another cup of coffee? Ingredients are white chocolate, sugar, cocoa butter, whole milk powder, soy lecithin, an emulsifier, natural vanilla powder, powdered sugar, I skipped a whole line, natural vanilla flavor, dry roasted macadamia nuts, matcha green tea powder, powdered sugar, and sugar cornstarch. So matcha green tea is the second to last ingredient on here, which doesn't make me feel like we're going to get a ton of, well, 1, matcha flavor, and 2, caffeine. But let's give them a try anyways. Macadamia nuts are always nice. Not as, honestly, for money, not as nice as cashews. If you asked me to choose between macadamia and cashews, I probably would go for cashews. Macadamias are nice, they have a nice texture to them, nice crunch, but cashews, I think, will always own my heart. There is our macadamia, and yeah, it is coated in powdered sugar, I guess to keep it from melting and sticking to each other in the bag, which is nice. I mean, like buying a thing of chocolate covered peanuts and ultimately just getting a giant peanut cluster in a bag. It does smell of matcha very subtly. I guess matcha is not usually a super strong aroma anyways in a lot of things. Especially not with as little of it as probably is in here. But it doesn't smell bad. It smells of almost nothing, just the slightest whiff of matcha. Let's give it a try. So that's a thicker chocolate layer than I was expecting. It's the matcha flavor is there. It's not super overpowering. There's a kind of a lot of sweetness, the texture of the macadamia, the flavor of the macadamia. But I almost feel like the matcha and the white chocolate aren't playing together super well. So I can get you a look at the inside, see how thick that chocolate actually is. Here we go. So see, it's almost more like a half of a macadamia than a whole macadamia in there. It's getting the macadamia shape because it's in probably more chocolate than nut there. I mean, look how thick that white chocolate layer is. Can we prize the nut out and just try some of the chocolate on its own? We can. All right, let's try the nut on its own. Yeah, that's a macadamia. Unsalted, unseasoned. A little bit of the sweetness picked up, I think, from the powdered sugar on here. But otherwise, yeah, pretty, you know, a macadamia. It's why I said I would probably choose cashews over macadamia. Let's try this because it's starting to melt in my hand. Let's try the chocolate on its own. You know, maybe it's the nut the matcha isn't playing nice with, because the matcha white chocolate mixture on its own is actually quite lovely, creamy, the nice matcha flavor to it. The bitterness or sourness kind of thing, I know there's two different flavors, and I can't pick which one it actually is that I'm dealing with here. But I think it's like something to do with the nut that it's not meshing super well with. See, that one was better. Maybe my first one was just like a bad nut, because that one tasted better as a whole piece. Now, I will say that I think the matcha flavor is still going to be better on its own. I wouldn't mind seeing them try to do the white chocolate matcha with something else, maybe with peanuts or cashews or something, just to see if that makes a difference. I feel like we're getting, a lot more chocolate here than we would through, say, if they used like any other nut, just because it's macadamias. Macadamias are like the most expensive nut an average person ever eats. But they're quite nice. As far as the caffeine goes, since I don't know how much is in there, I can't really speak to that. But I'm not going to do like I did with the Verb bars and the Awake bars and come back at the end and say, oh, I haven't had any coffee and this is how I feel. Just because I really don't, I'm not putting a whole lot of weight into that language because they're not giving us the caffeine amount. I feel like, given that there's not any listing for how much caffeine's in there, we aren't getting like, is 9 of these whole cup of coffee, half a cup of coffee, is it 30 milligrams of caffeine? Is it 70 milligrams of caffeine? Is it 100 milligrams of caffeine? I would like to know, because let's face it, in reality, I probably would be mixing these with some other caffeinated beverages. But I feel like since matcha is so far down the list of ingredients there, literally second to last, there's probably not enough of it in there to give you much of a caffeine boost. You're probably going to get more of a boost off of that second ingredient, sugar there. Or sorry, the first ingredient to the white chocolate, sugar there. Than you are from the matcha on this, which means you're going to crash very, very quickly. But it's still nice. It's a lovely little snack. You put a bowl of these out at tea or something, you could do worse. I definitely am glad I tried them. Would I get them again? Probably not at full price. I don't remember exactly how much they were, but I do remember mentally wrestling with buying them because of that price. Just because it was kind of a lot to spend, ultimately, just for a video. For a snack that, despite being flavors that I range from liking to not minding, I still was unsure about. But nope, I feel the gamble paid off. They're not bad. The green tea flavor could be maybe a little bit stronger. That first one I got just did, like, the nut, I guess, just had like a sourness to it, because the other ones I had afterwards were fine. I didn't have that issue at all. Maybe there was some flavor left over in my mouth from earlier. I don't know. But yeah, they're nice. A little pricey. Wish I knew how much caffeine I was getting to know, because that honestly, that would, if this had a good amount of caffeine in it, that would tip me totally over to the yes, try this. And not knowing how much caffeine's in there, I feel like if you really like matcha flavored things, it's certainly worth giving a try. If you really like macadamias and you don't mind matcha flavored things, it's probably also worth giving a try. If you're just looking for like a caffeine boost, this is probably not going to be the avenue you'd want to go to. Even though I have titled this a tea break video, there doesn't appear to be much tea actually here. You can taste it. I'm not saying you can't taste it, but I'm saying I don't think that this is going to give me much of a caffeine boost. But still, I feel like I have benefited from trying it. I hope you've enjoyed watching me try it. If you did, go ahead, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.